Seeing this, Deidara was suddenly reminded of Itachi's instantaneous defeat of him. He then brought out his secret weapon, C4 Karura, which he had honed over the years. The sheer pressure from this technique was immense, and Deidara's giant clay clone startled Sasuke. However, Sasuke's Sharingan saw through its mechanism. He easily dodged it, and even cast a simple genjutsu on Deidara during his escape. Why was it a simple genjutsu? Because Deidara managed to break free from it. That's right, Sasuke's Sharingan genjutsu was breakable. Deidara then set a trap for Sasuke, pretending to let his guard down and allowing himself to be hit by Sasuke's Chidori. I believe the moment Sasuke was caught, Deidara had won. I thought someone might come to rescue Sasuke, but to my surprise, just when Sasuke was about to be blown up, he used Chidori on himself, neutralizing the danger. The reason for this was that lightning counters earth element. Even Deidara's highest level bombs become inert when hit by a lightning release jutsu. No wonder Deidara's performance was so lackluster after being reincarnated by the impure world reincarnation technique. On the other hand, the jutsu that Naruto developed was so outrageous that Tsunade banned it after just one use. As we all know, the Rasengan was an A-rank jutsu developed by Minato Namikaze. It doesn't have a chakra nature. Why is its rank only A? It's not because the Rasengan isn't advanced, but because it's an incomplete jutsu. In terms of difficulty in shape transformation, the Rasengan is even more challenging than the Chidori. However, the Chidori can incorporate lightning nature, while the Rasengan's integration with the user's chakra nature was something even the 4th Hokage couldn't complete. So, when Naruto combined the Rasengan with his wind nature chakra, creating the wind released Rasen Shuriken, it became an S-rank jutsu. It's like adding countless blades to the Rasengan. According to Tsunade, these chakra blades can sever the cellular network of the body. It was through this jutsu that Naruto elevated the Rasengan from an A-rank to an S-rank jutsu, destroying 2 of Kakuzu's hearts in one go. However, much like Itachi's Amaterasu, while this jutsu's destructive power is immense, it also comes with significant side effects. When Naruto and his team returned to the village after completing their mission, Tsunade, as a medical ninja, immediately noticed something was wrong with Naruto's arm. She had never seen Naruto so severely injured. Indeed, not even Naruto's body could withstand such side effects. Tsunade mentioned while examining Kakuzu's corpse that anyone hit by the wind release Rasen Shuriken would undergo a sort of microsurgery, cutting all their cellular connection. The destructive power is so staggering that even the user can't avoid it. Thus, Tsunade forbade Naruto from using this jutsu again. If Naruto continued to use it, he would eventually lose the ability to mold chakra, and even Tsunade wouldn't be able to help him. In pursuit of the ultimate art, Deidara chose to self-destruct during his battle with Sasuke. The explosion created a massive mushroom cloud that soared into the sky, captivating everyone with this ultimate display of art. Although Sasuke used his Sharingan to control Manda and achieve a spatial jump, he was still affected by the blast. Manda was killed instantly, and Sasuke was seriously injured. Witnessing the explosion, Kakashi sensed Deidara's chakra and led the group to the explosion site. Kiba also confirmed Sasuke's location, and they began to track him. However, Karen, with her strong sensory abilities, easily evaded Kiba's pursuit. After his injuries healed, Sasuke continued to lead his team in searching for the Akatsuki base to find Itachi. At this time, Naruto encountered Itachi, who was preparing for his final battle with Sasuke. Upon learning of Naruto's unwavering determination to bring Sasuke back, Itachi smiled with satisfaction. He implanted Shirsue's Mangekyo Sharingan, reputed to be the strongest genjutsu, Kodo Amatsukami, into a crow and hid it within Naruto's body. Subsequently, the scene shifts to the Rain Village headquarters. The masked man, believing the time was right, instructed Pain to hunt the Nine-Tailed. Amidst the drizzling rain and lightning, Tobi, claiming to be Madara, had a particularly conspicuous Sharingan. At the same time, Jiraiya had discovered information about the leader of the Akatsuki and decided to investigate alone. Before departing, he informed Tsunade. The usually bold and uninhibited Tsunade felt a mix of emotions upon hearing the news. Sitting on a park bench after a drink, they shared a final farewell. Despite the unknown enemy's intelligence and strength, Jiraiya decided to go alone and even bet with Tsunade, who always lost her gambles, that he would die. As the setting sun painted the sky red and geese flew south, Jiraiya waved goodbye to Tsunade. When Jiraiya was young, his abilities were quite poor, and he was considered a dunce. He became a ninja because of his perverted tendencies. His teacher was Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage, known as the Professor of Ninjutsu. Sarutobi demonstrated the summoning technique to young Jiraiya, hoping he would learn to perform hand signs and gather chakra properly. However, Jiraiya hadn't signed a contract with any summoning beasts, and accidentally reverse summoned himself to Mount Myaboku. As the origin place of Sage Jutsu, the Great Toad Sage had long foretold his arrival. So, Jiraiya stayed to learn Sage Jutsu, and signed a summoning contract with the Toads. With a newfound resolve, Jiraiya stopped focusing on chasing women. The forgetful Great Toad Sage then told Jiraiya a prophecy, predicting that his future pupil would be the key to a great change in the ninja world, bringing either peace or destruction. Jiraiya was destined to guide this mysterious agent of change. Following the Great Toad's prophecy, Jiraiya began traveling the world, but war soon broke out. During his travels, Jiraiya encountered many peculiar individuals. In an abandoned temple during a rainstorm, he met Azura Path, who was then a puppeteer. His puppet dolls were quite frightening. After parting ways, Jiraiya learned that Azura Path was also a ninja, but a complete opportunist. From that point, Jiraiya started writing books, but with beautiful women around him, he couldn't write a single word. He then met Preta Path, who drowned his sorrows in alcohol and complained about the unfairness of fate, and Naraka Path, who taught people to live in fear and submission. But none of these were the prophesied child he was seeking. Feeling quite dejected, he encountered Deva Path, surrounded by followers. After a brief conversation, he realized that Deva Path's idea of guidance was merely preaching for people to pray to the god. Finally, Jiraiya met Animal Path, a ruthless and destructive individual who committed all sorts of heinous acts. Jiraiya fought and scarred him, and before fleeing, Animal Path told Jiraiya, "In this cursed ninja world, you must destroy or be destroyed. As long as we live in this accursed world, there will never be peace." After that, there was a large-scale war outbreak in the ninja world. Faced with the situation, Jiraiya had no choice but to return to Konoha and fight alongside Orochimaru and Tsunade. During this time, Tsunade's brother, Nawaki, was accidentally killed by an explosive tag. Since then, Jiraiya secretly vowed to find a reformer who could change the current situation and bring peace. During the Second Great Ninja War, Jiraiya entered the Land of Rain and fought against Hanzo, who was known as the Salamander. When Hanzo released poison from his salamander summon, the entire battlefield was left with only Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru struggling to hold on. Even though they were ultimately defeated by Hanzo, he spared them out of respect for Konoha, as there was no need to antagonize a victorious nation. While on their way back to the village, they encountered 3 young ninja, who came seeking apprenticeship. Orochimaru suggested killing them, but Jiraiya, moved by compassion, decided to take them under his wing and care for them until they could fend for themselves. During this time, a remark by Yahiko awakened something in Jiraiya, realizing that unless their enemies tasted the same pain, wars would never cease. This insight prompted Jiraiya to consider writing books again, pondering how to make protagonists let go of their hatred. However, he found himself at a loss. Just when he was feeling hopeless, Nagato unexpectedly awakened the Rinnegan due to a chance occurrence. Could Nagato truly be the prophesied child Jiraiya had been searching for? After that, Jiraiya ventured alone to the hidden rain village to investigate. He easily infiltrated the village, using space-time ninjutsu. At that time it was raining heavily, which was part of Pain's sensory ninjutsu, the rain tiger at will technique. This technique acted like a large surveillance barrier, monitoring the village. Jiraiya's intrusion had already been detected by Pain, who immediately ordered Conan to investigate. As Jiraiya infiltrated the village, he found it surprisingly peaceful despite the rumors of constant warfare. The origami angels hanging at the doors became symbols of gratitude for peace, while Hanzo of the Salamander became a terrifying figure unspoken of by the villager. Through his investigation, Jiraiya learned that anyone suspected of being Hanzo's associate would be killed on the spot. Realizing that he had been exposed, Jiraiya used the toad's esophagus to capture 2 agents of the Rain Village and threatened them to reveal Pain's information. It turned out that Pain had become the city's deity, having defeated the former leader single-handedly and unified the village. Remembering his battle with Hanzo, Jiraiya realized he couldn't defeat him even with all his might. Before continuing his investigation, Jiraiya replaced the toad guarding the Nine-Tails seal with another, sending it to Naruto's location to ensure his safety. Although this loosened the seal on the Nine-Tail, Jiraiya couldn't afford to worry about it at the moment. Conan located Jiraiya using her clones and informed Pain, who decided to eliminate Jiraiya without hesitation. Conan warned Jiraiya, but his ninjutsu proved to be a comprehensive counter to hers. After binding Conan, Jiraiya began questioning Pain's true identity. Pain then appeared, and instead of using his most powerful Deva path, he opted for the Animal path, which excelled in summoning. Initially, Jiraiya didn't recognize Pain, but identified him as Nagato with the Rinnegan. When questioned by Jiraiya, Pain revealed his purpose for founding the Akatsuki. He explained that there is too much war in this world, and like Jiraiya, he sought peace. His method was to collect the 9-tailed beasts and create the ultimate weapon, which he would provide to various nations as a means of mutual deterrence to suppress war. Upon closer consideration, his idea bears a striking resemblance to nuclear weapons. However, Jiraiya rejected Pain's plan, believing that peace maintained through military deterrence is doomed to fail. Jiraiya summoned Gamaken to prepare for Sage Mode, but entering Sage Mode takes time. Meanwhile, Pain unleashed the Hellhound, a creature that infinitely splits when attacked, making it extremely troublesome. Gamaken struggled in the battle, but Jiraiya managed to absorb all the hounds using the the great toad's esophagus. Jiraiya also used a fire release technique to burn a giant bird that swooped down at them. However, more summoned creatures kept appearing, including a winged rhinoceros. Fortunately, Gamaken arrived just in time to take it down. At this moment, Jiraiya's Sage Mode was ready. The voices of the two Toad Sages echoed from the tunnel, as Jiraiya's face began to show distinct toad-like features, marking the first appearance of Sage Mode in the Naruto series. Is it true that Jiraiya in Sage Mode was no match for Pain in sheer strength? Not exactly. To face this unprecedented enemy, Jiraiya unlocked Sage Mode for the first time. As Konoha's top-tier combatant faced the overwhelmingly powerful Pain, this battle was destined to be extraordinary. The battle began, and in addition to the animal path, Nagato also summoned the human path and the Predator path. While the two Toad Sages were bickering, the human path attacked first, only to be swiftly kicked away by Jiraiya. Jiraiya then countered with Sage Art Guamo. Although the Rinnegan shouldn't be able to absorb Senjutsu, the Predator path seemed to defy that rule, acting like a bug. Seeing that his Sage techniques were ineffective, Jiraiya decided to try close quarters combat. However, even his ultra big ball Rasengan was absorbed by the Predator path, just like being sucked into a gourd. Combined with the Rinnegan's shared vision, Jiraiya found his ninjutsu and taijutsu to be useless. He resorted to using the swamp of the underworld as a trap, then coordinated with the two Toad Sages to perform a combination technique, Toad Confrontation Chant. This is an incredibly powerful sound-based genjutsu, one that even the Rinnegan cannot resist. After seemingly killing the three bodies, Jiraiya was caught off guard and lost his right arm in a surprise attack by the Azura path. As a traditional ninja, losing the ability to form hand signs significantly weakened Jiraiya's power. To make matters worse, the three bodies he had just killed were resurrected, and all six paths of pain were now present. Recognizing his former student Yahiko, Jiraiya questioned why Yahiko had 6 pairs of Rinnegan eyes, but the only response he received was a missile from the Azura path. Despite being outnumbered 6-1, Jiraiya managed to drag the animal path into the Toad barrier, and killed it with a Rasengan. However, instead of escaping, Jiraiya asked the Toad Sages to deliver vital information back to Konoha, as he needed to confirm one more thing. As expected, all 6 paths of pain were ninjas that Jiraiya had encountered during his travels across various countries. Just as Jiraiya realized that there was only one true Pain, he was ambushed from underwater, with Pain crushing his throat. The other 5 then attacked simultaneously. Powerless to resist, Jiraiya recalled the moments when he wrote his book, remembering that a ninja's worth is determined by how they die. Even with his last ounce of strength, he inscribed vital information about Pain on the Toad Sages, before sinking into the depths of the ocean. The tale of Jiraiya, the Gallant, had reached its final chapter. But was Jiraiya truly weaker than Pain? Looking back, before losing his arm, Jiraiya was able to dominate the animal path, human path, and Predator path, despite lacking sufficient information. Even after the battle, Pain admitted that if it weren't for the secret of the 6 paths, he might not have been able to defeat Jiraiya at all. Reflecting on Jiraiya's life, he not only trained exceptional students like the 4th Hokage, but also guided the child of prophecy, Naruto, onto the right path, embodying his ninja way throughout his life. It can be said that Jiraiya was incredibly successful. Under Itachi's guidance, Sasuke finally found his way to their family's hideout and confronted Itachi. Itachi's first question to Sasuke: how far could Sasuke's Sharingan could see through about fate? Sasuke, filled with resentment, boldly declared that he had seen Itachi's fate: death. The two then engaged in a brief exchange of genjutsu. During this genjutsu battle, Itachi wove a grand lie for Sasuke. By introducing Uchiha Madara, he revealed the true secret of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Itachi told Sasuke that Madara, after leading the Uchiha clan to prosperity, nearly went blind from overusing his Mangekyo Sharingan. To regain his vision, Madara took his brother's eyes, acquiring the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Itachi claimed that to surpass Madara, he had been nurturing Sasuke's hatred step by step, with the ultimate goal of taking his eyes to gain eternal power. In reality, Madara's brother, Izuna, was killed by Tobirama using the Flying Thunder God technique. Before dying, Izuna donated his eyes to Madara. It's undeniable that Itachi's acting in this scene was phenomenal, convincing both Sasuke and the audience of his lies. The two then engaged in a true battle. They began by unleashing countless shuriken, but ended up in a stalemate. At this point, Itachi used Tsukuyomi, gouging out Sasuke's left eye in the illusionary world. Sasuke screamed in agony, but then the space around them suddenly tore apart. It turned out that everything that had just happened was merely Itachi's genjutsu. Surprisingly, Sasuke managed to break free from Tsukuyomi, something no one expected. Meanwhile, Itachi, pretending that his Tsukuyomi had been broken, collapsed weakly to the ground. Struggling to his feet, he vowed to turn this illusion into reality. However, his slow hand signs were interrupted by a giant shuriken thrown by Sasuke. Additionally, the side effects of Tsukuyomi left Itachi at a disadvantage in the battle. Sasuke seized the opportunity, continuously using Fireball Jutsu and Chidori to break through the roof and draw the battle outside. The two then began a fierce engage of fire release techniques. However, Itachi then unleashed his most potent weapon, Amaterasu, which consumed Sasuke's flames in an instant. Despite Sasuke's attempts to evade, Amaterasu's black flames burned his wing. As Itachi slowly approached the seemingly unconscious Sasuke, the shedding Sasuke immediately exerted all his strength and unleashed the fire style, Great Dragon Fire technique. A massive flame soared into the sky at incredible speed, catching even Itachi off guard. However, Sasuke's situation was dire as the technique nearly depleted all his chakra. Despite this, Sasuke remained composed, giving the impression that he had something up his sleeve. Sasuke's memories returned to the time after the Uchiha clan massacre, where, following Itachi's guidance, he successfully found the stone monument. He believed he now understood the fate of the Uchiha clan, but his hatred for his brother quickly overwhelmed him. From that moment on, Sasuke was determined to seek revenge, regardless of the darkness it might lead him into. Now, the opportunity had presented itself, and Sasuke smirked confidently. Itachi also sensed that something was amiss, and suddenly, lightning gathered in the sky. Watching from the sideline, Tobi realized Sasuke's intention. The target of his previous Dragon Fire technique was not Itachi, but to raise the atmospheric temperature and create cumulonimbus clouds that could summon lightning. In the midst of their conversation, Sasuke activated his Chidori and jumped onto the stone monument, wearing a look of disdain. In an instant, a gigantic Kirin emerged from the clouds, striking down with lightning speed, reducing the entire hideout to ruin. Itachi fell to the ground without a word. Sasuke believed he had finally avenged his clan, but to his surprise, Itachi slowly rose again. Crimson chakra gathered around him, forming a colossal skeletal figure, the ultimate defense of the Uchiha clan's Susanoo, residing within the Mangekyo Sharingan. The sky gradually cleared, and Sasuke could no longer use Kirin. Just as he found himself at the end of his rope, he heard Orochimaru's voice within him. Unable to resist, Sasuke could only watch as Orochimaru burst out from his left shoulder. Despite the appearance of such a monstrous creature, Itachi remained completely unfazed. With a series of swift attacks, he severed the heads of all 7 snakes. Orochimaru then slowly emerged from the last snake's head. Even Zetsu found the scene disgustingly repulsive. Confident, Orochimaru declared his intent to take over Sasuke's body, but the next moment, he was abruptly humiliated. The Totsuka blade pierced through his body, sealing him permanently into a world of eternal drunken dream. However, at that moment, Itachi suddenly collapsed to his knees, coughing up blood, and even Susanoo began to crumble. Seizing the opportunity, Sasuke threw kunai, but to his surprise, Itachi rose once more. Panicked, Sasuke desperately used various methods to slow Itachi down, even grabbing the sword of Kusanagi to stab Susanoo. But the outcome remained unchanged. After cornering Sasuke against the wall, Itachi did not take his brother's eyes. Instead, he gently tapped Sasuke's forehead, just as he had in the past, whispered a few words, and then collapsed dead. How did Sasuke, with the power of just the 3 Tomo Sharingan, manage to defeat Itachi? Foolish little brother, haven't you realized the mercy I showed you? As the battle of revenge came to an end, Naruto's team, while searching for Sasuke, was intercepted by Tobi. Since they knew nothing about Tobi's abilities, they were unable to land any attacks on him. Even Shino's insect jutsu proved ineffective. At that moment, Zetsu arrived and informed Tobi that the battle was over, and Sasuke had won. Tobi's voice suddenly shifted from its usual cheerful tone to something much darker. His blood-red Sharingan appeared through the mask, and he used Kamui to retreat. Before taking Sasuke and Itachi's bodies, Tobi ordered Zetsu to record the entire battle, showing just how much he feared Itachi.